Alrighty, guys, we had a couple companies report earnings this morning, and we got to break them down in this video. We also have to go over the futures, which we are down right now in the futures market as the markets are about to open up in a little bit over 5 minutes when I'm filming this video. So if you all find value, hit the like button. I'm probably going to upload this onto YouTube. I typically upload these morning videos on Patreon for my top tier members. If you guys want to check that out, that is linked down below. But with that being said, guys, let's just dive into the video. We have to break down some earnings, the futures, the markets when they do end up opening here in a couple of minutes, and my thoughts on everything going on. So let's dive into it. So currently, again, we have about 5 minutes left until the open. We have the Dow Jones down 0.4%. We have the NASDAQ down 0.8%. The Russell's also down 0.4% as the S&P is down about 0.5%, and gold and the silver markets, they seem to be flip-flopping here. We have silver down 0.5%, gold's up 0.3%. So we're mostly moving down here in the futures, which, again, we have 5 minutes left. And this makes complete sense to me, guys, complete sense, considering yesterday we had, or not yesterday, last week, we had a huge up week, right? You guys know that. SPY went from 390 to 415. Triple Q went, it went even crazier than that. It went from about 296 to almost 320 bucks. So we had a big week last week. Yesterday was a cool off day, and it looks like today looks to be that as well, at least as of now, guys. And you can see yesterday's day, what happened yesterday. We shot to 413 on SPY, and we ended up pulling back to about 408, 409, and then we ran to about 410 into the close. And now you guys can see today, we hit 407 earlier in the pre-market at about 7 a.m. on the East Coast. We took the lows out from yesterday. So it looks like bears are slowly bringing this a bit lower. They're gaining a little bit of an edge here in the very short term. But overall, again, like I said, this is expected considering last week was great for the markets. And I'm going to be watching in the very short term here the pre-market low for from today, 407 on SPY, which also happens to be the low from the 29th of July in the morning. That morning, you guys can see SPY hit 407, ran to about 413. So those are a couple of levels you guys got to watch. I'd say 407 on the downside, 410-ish on the upside, 411, 410 roughly on SPY. And for Triple Q, let me pull that up here and see. This also took the lows out from yesterday. Yesterday's lows were at about 312.65. We hit 311.60 this morning. Now we're slightly above the lows from yesterday. We're almost at 313, but I'm going to be watching on the downside 311 on Triple Q. If that were to break, we might be going down to 308, 309. Definitely possible in the short term. And let's say that does happen, guys. The bulls are not out of control at that point. They're still going to be in control if you guys look on the 4-hour chart. Look, if we get the 308, even 305 on Triple Q, we're still going to be holding above that 50 SMA. The uptrend is going to be holding on the 4-hour chart. Same thing with SPY. If SPY gets down to about, now that it's pulling back a little bit, let's say it cracks under, like I said, 407, 406. It goes down to 400. All right, it cools off a little bit. We're still above the moving averages on the 4-hour chart. So what do you guys think about that? I feel like this is a healthy pullback. You guys got to realize not everything goes up, and away. We got to see those pullbacks. And this is what that is, the little cool off. What do you guys think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And with that being said, let's talk about some stocks. We had 6 companies report earnings this morning that I want to talk about. We had Uber, Caterpillar, BP, MPC, JetBlue, Marriott. So let's talk about these companies very quickly, guys. So Uber is one that is going ballistic right now, completely ballistic. And if I extend this drawing to the right, and mind you, I haven't done an analysis on Uber. I haven't looked at these charts in a while, but as you guys can see, this downwards channel that we drew out probably 3 months ago, 2-3 months ago, if I extend it to the right, look at what's going to happen here. If I extend this to the right, boom, you guys can see we held that channel, all throughout the months that I wasn't even looking at Uber. So we held the bottom of the channel. We kept getting hit and hit and hit. But that was a good almost 2.5 months, Uber went, it couldn't catch a break. I mean, it was getting hit, 1990. It hit almost 1990 again. But now, over the past couple of weeks, it's been reversing, and they just reported earnings this morning, and the stock went from about 23, or rather 24.60 it closed at yesterday. Now it's at 28.50 as the markets are about to open. This thing is up probably close to 20%, which is insane. So they did EPS of negative $1.33, so they're still losing money. Surprise, surprise, guys. We had revenue at $8.1 billion versus $7.39 billion estimated. So I'm not sure what the EPS estimate is, but it looks like the markets don't give a crap because the revenue beat nicely, and, we are completely exploding. I'm not sure what the short interest is on Uber, what it was, and there goes the market. Let me take some coffee, guys, for that. I'm not sure if it's a heavily shorted stock. Again, I don't pay much attention to Uber, but hey, if it is, this might be some shorts covering as well. But overall, be careful. We'll wrap it up here with Uber. Be careful because, yes, it's ripping right now, but for me, in my opinion, this is not one that you should chase, in my opinion. If you were already in Uber, this is great for you. If you went through the earnings, which I personally don't do, but if you held through earnings, this is great for you. I would personally, and this is not telling you what to do, but if it were me personally, guys, I would probably lock in profits here. I'd at least sell something, right, to lock in some sort of profits, if not the entire position. So that's my thoughts on that. Caterpillar, CAT is another one that reported, and they're down 4.5%. Caterpillar's down because, well, the funny thing is, I guess they didn't miss revenue, $14.2 billion versus $14.38 billion, but they ended up beating EPS, $3.18 versus $3.01 estimated. So at this point, look at that. We're trading in this downwards channel that I drew out a couple of videos ago. I think probably 2-3 videos ago. And we clearly now got rejected at a lower high. Can you guys see that? Boom. Lower high, lower high, lower high. You guys see that? That's what's going on right now. And we're now trading under the 180 SMA, but we are above the 50 SMA. So there is some hope here for the bulls, I guess you can say, if they could end up maybe getting a rally in the mid-180s back to test the 190s and maybe break out of there. But it looks like the bears are more in charge here. And let's say Caterpillar breaks 180, this might be going to the 160s faster than you would think. And let me see here. Do we have any guidance? Why is this falling down 3.5%? Is it because of that? It must be the revenue miss. It's got to be. Let's see here. They're trading lower after the company reported worse than expected sales results. There you go. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is, guys. It's the revenue miss. So Caterpillar's down. BP, last I checked, let's see here. Yeah, it's up 3%. BP did 47 cents versus the 83 cents a year ago, year over year. So earnings have come down year over year, but revenue, like expected, has come up in a major way. $69.51 billion versus $38.35 billion year over year. So they've not for sure, or not completely it's a double up there, but it's pretty dang close to a double up on revenue year over year. And like a lot of these energy companies, guys, these energy stocks, BP is breaking above these moving averages. We have a inverse head and shoulders. That is what we're seeing on a lot of these. We covered 2 yesterday. Devon Energy, inverse head and shoulders. It's breaking out. Look at that. And another one was Diamondback Energy, which we have an inverse head and shoulders, and it's about to potentially break out of those moving averages. So, yeah, I mean, you guys got to watch BP. You got to watch BP at this point. It's slowly taking out the highs from the end of June as well. Those were right around $29.50, $30-ish. That's where we are now. So I'm going to just set my alert. I'm not going to rush into any of these energy stocks, guys, because I already have an XLE position, like I've mentioned many times. But I'm going to set my alert here at $31 and see what it does. Market's at or above $31, and I'm going to watch it. Another one that I'm watching is Marathon Petroleum, which, lo and behold, inverse head and shoulders. You guys see that, and this is about to maybe break out. I have my alert set at $95. They ended up reporting as well, and they did very well, guys. Maybe not the best on revenue growth year over year out of some of the energy companies that we've talked about throughout this earnings season, but I would say they did pretty well. EPS $10.61 versus $7.71 estimated, so they beat EPS and they beat revenue. Surprise, $54.24 billion versus $44.08 billion estimated. So they still crushed revenue, but some of these energy companies have literally doubled up. I think Chevron and Exxon, Exxon might have doubled up revenue. Chevron was really close. BP's getting close year over year. So, yeah, I mean, they did well, but not as great as some of these other ones. But still, pretty solid, good earnings, I'd say. And Marathon is up 2% almost on the day. And again, I have my alert at $95. If that breaks, I'm looking to make that move. I like the way this is setting up. So we also had JetBlue, JBLU. Let's pull that up. We got news a couple of days ago that they're merging with Spirit. You guys remember that, right? That was what, earlier or late last week or something like that. Anyway, they ended up doing negative 47 cents versus negative 11 cents estimated on EPS on revenue of $2.44 billion versus $2.46 billion estimated. So they missed on EPS and they missed on revenue, and the stock is down over 5%. So that makes sense to me. Double miss, stock's down. That makes sense. But the thing is, guys, the stock market, doesn't always make sense. We've seen companies do very well with earnings, stocks down. Companies do very poorly on earnings, stocks up. It happens. It happens. But in this case, this makes sense, and it might go for the lows. JetBlue is at $8.09 right now. The lows were at $7.87 a couple of weeks ago. Watch out for that on JetBlue. And if you guys are still here, let me know your thoughts in the comments. We have one more stock, and do not forget to get your 10 stocks, free stocks from Moomoo with a $100 deposit. Each of those could be valued up to $2,500, and you could also get 12 stocks from Webull. Literally free money, guys. All of those are linked down below, and I appreciate all of you as always for showing love, showing support, hitting that like button, subscribing, using those links. All that stuff helps me out in the YouTube algorithm and just keeping the channel alive. And without you guys, this stuff would not be possible. Seriously. So cheers to you. Last stock, Marriott International. Let's pull that up. Marriott International, it is also down 1.5% on adjusted EPS of $1.80 versus $1.54 estimated. Revenue of $5.34 billion versus $4.94 billion estimated. So pretty nice double beat. Very nice. They beat by a wide margin on adjusted EPS and on revenue. And the stock's selling off a little bit, which is all right because overall, this thing has been moving up very crazily, I'd say, over the past couple of weeks. So maybe some of this was priced in, the good earnings here, and it's just selling off a little bit. Or maybe it was expected, or maybe it was not as good as expected. I don't know. But overall, the stock went from 131 to 162. That was a 24% move. And mind you, it broke out of the moving averages as well. And we're about to get a golden cross potentially. So we're just getting a bit of a cool off, kind of like what we're seeing with the S&P and Triple Q, like we talked about in the beginning of the video. That's the same thing I'm seeing here on Marriott. But if we don't get buyers to come in at 152, even here at 155, mid 150s, low 150s, if this is able to break under the moving averages, let's say back to the 140s, then it's a little bit of a different story. But as long as we have buyers right around here, which we have to wait and see, guys, let me pop up the intraday and see what's been going on. It's too early to tell. It's only 9:38. It's too early to tell. But if we do get buyers there, we could probably go back towards the 160s, 70s, definitely possible. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Patreon, I appreciate you all as always for being here on Patreon. And if you're watching this in general, don't forget again to get your stocks from Moomoo and from Webull. Those are linked down below. Hit the like button, do all that good stuff. It helps me out in the algorithm. And with that being said, good luck in the markets this week. It might be a calmer week this week than last week, which I guess that's good, but we're still going to be covering it on the channel. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers. Peace out. See you later.